Isn't that pretty? There we go. All right, now what we do is we start to layer the apples in a concentric circle. What does concentric mean? Does anybody know what the word concentric means? So we're not going to tell you what it means. I think it just means everything in the same direction, doesn't it? I don't know. I'm sure we'll get letters and emails. Angry. I'm sure talk radio, Rush Limbaugh, they'll be lighting up the waves. Oh, I should also tell you I've got the oven on at 425. So, now look at this. Already, you know what? Already this looks beautiful. Now I'm going to cut. Every now and then you get these little pieces of, you know, closer to the apple core. Just cut those out. Now I got to cover that up. Now I've done it. Now I got to find a piece to cover that up. And just keep moving around your tart. Ooh. Even some of these are a little bit thick, but they're fine. Save the skinny ones if you have them, but of course I've got more apples I can cut. Ooh, push this around. So I was funny watching Adele because that song, you know that song that she has, Somebody Like You. You know, I don't know why I don't cry. I just don't cry. I know other people cry over that song. I don't know why it doesn't bring any tears to me, but apparently she's going to stop with all those songs, right, Adele? Because she needs to move on. She has just been wailing about this breakup now forever. I don't think it's healthy. I think she needs to go see somebody. Maybe she should sing it out. Maybe that will help her. Get it out. Maybe she should come on the show and sing it. Maybe she should come on the show and talk about it. We'll talk about it. We'll have a little apple tart and a little bit of wine. And then she'll feel better. All right. Now, when you get to this little piece here, you just want to lift the, well, you know what? I need a bigger piece. Take a bigger piece. Just lift it. Lift it up. Now, I'm going to need two pieces here. So you want to lift it up as you get to the end and slide that in. Okay, now, so we have our first ring. Here we go. Now the second ring, you turn the, show you that. The second ring, we're turning the other direction.
Countercentric?
I have no idea. We lost the fact-checking person with the budget cuts. But maybe it's a concentric circle the other way. Excuse me as I have apple in my mouth. Counter-concentric circle is what my cameraman is saying. I don't think that's true, Kevin. A counter-concentric circle. All right, these are a little bit fat. Like I am today. Fat. Ugh. You know what it is? I traveled last week, and I went to the headquarters for my office, and everybody had chocolate. It was somebody's birthday. Like I am today. Fat. Ugh. You know what it is? I traveled last week, and I went to the headquarters for my office, and everybody had chocolate. It was somebody's birthday. We went out for drinks, and you know, before I knew it, I had 3 days of like chocolate and eating and drinking, and it wasn't good. Okay, so don't worry about this. This gets a little better, but this is where you want your slices to be a little thinner because when they're chunky like this, like me, they sort of fall off. Are you laughing that I said that? Oh, I think it's the same concentric circle. I'm not really sure. Now, I'm running out of pieces, so I'm actually going to slice a little. I'm going to slice a few more. Take a little bit more of these. Now, same thing when you get to the edge. Whoa! You know what? It helps. Here's what and I'm going to do this right now. Take your knife, because my fingers aren't going to work. Just sort of lift that up. There you go. It's like a little project. It's a little art project. And I'm going to take a really thin, oh, here's one. I'm going to take a really thin, that might work. I'm going to take a really thin guy. and stick him in there. And again, it doesn't have to be perfect. This isn't, well, I like to be perfect, but it's not made from a machine. Okay, now, our counter concentric circle is done. Now we're going to go concentric again the other way. Now here's the middle one, whereas you need them really sort of much thinner than you did before. So I'm actually going to cut this into 4 pieces, and you're going to flip it the other way. And it doesn't matter, well, it does matter. I take that back. Some of them you can't see, but see how there's a thin top and a fat bottom? You want the thinner top to go onto the top. Is that right? No. Well, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I don't know why I said that. Just do it. It looks fine. Sometimes it matters. Oh my God, I need more coffee. Does it matter or doesn't matter? Who knows? Lord. Your friends are going to be so impressed anyway, it doesn't even matter. They're not going to notice it, but you will. You will notice every gap in the apple that you messed up. All right, here you go. Almost there. Isn't this cool though? You got to admit, it's very pretty. You see these in a pastry shop all the time, and it's just, this is how you make it. Of course, you haven't had to make 5 of them that day, so you're probably a little happier than they might be in the pastry shop. Okay, so now, here's where I sort of fill it in. I see gaps. The important thing is that I want the, and I'm gonna make this thin when I want it to be thin. I just don't want any big holes in the apples. But these will lie down as it cooks, so don't you fret, although I'm fretting. Okay, now we have that thing. Here's what I do for the very, very center. Can you get a shot of that in the middle? Mm-hmm. So I still have that little hole in the middle. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut very thin pieces. And then I'm like, why do I cut thin pieces? Because they're just going to burn, and they do, in the middle. And then I cut these, I make them skinny. So I'm just going to cut these up. And then what I do is I just stick them in, and they sort of like, okay. Whoop, I got a gap over here. I'm going to shove this in. Okay? And there we go. Beautiful, huh? Now, I've got a 1/4 cup of sugar, and I'm going to sprinkle a 1/4 cup of, not happy with that one. I'm going to do some more. I'm going to put one in here. And you know what I used to do, and I do, sometimes I cut like a little diamond and I stick it, but I'm not going to do it this time. Then we take a 1/4 cup of sugar, and go around and get the whole thing covered up. And this is going to caramelize and make a beautiful, beautiful top. My dough is still a little bit warm, and well, it should be, I like it a little bit rock solid, but I think it's going to be fine. You know what, we'll test it. It'll be fine. And you know what, since I'm eating it on camera, I can just tell you it's beautiful and you won't even know.
Evenly dispersed?
Evenly dispersed, concentrically put on the thing. Here's the amount of apples that I have left over from the 4 apples. So maybe it's only like 3 apples. I have my oven on at 425, and this is going to go in for 40 minutes. And I have a big wooden pizza paddle, but of course I didn't bring that out either. But I'm just going to go ahead and stick this in the oven. Sort of on the middle rack, lower middle rack. Lift from the sides. I've got my dirty oven. Thank you for that close-up. I had a fire, this baking soda. I'm going to stick that in the middle. Shut it. Put my timer on for 40 minutes. And then the top will get nice and brownish, and we'll see it. So, when that is done in 40 minutes, we're going to make an apricot glaze with a little bit of calvados on top of it. Actually, about 10 minutes before that comes out of the oven. So about 30 minutes, I'm going to start to make the glaze. 35 minutes. Get the glaze, because when it comes out, it's hot, and I want the glaze to stick to the apples. So, if you are cooking along with me, now is a great time to put your video on pause, go get a glass of wine, come back in about 30 minutes, and we'll make the glaze.